So our white label solutions. This boils down to some of the custom technology that we've been able to develop. And so many of you may or may not realize that when it comes to blockchain, everything's mined and verified on the network. When it comes to a casino, every transaction is mined and verified on the network. When it comes to a casino, every spin of a slot machine, every roll of a dice, every blackjack hand is an individual transaction. So when you have to wait for confirmation times, users would have to spin the slot machine and then wait 1 to 2 minutes. Now it was a short pause, but it'd be much longer if they had to wait 1 to 2 minutes before they'd be able to spin again. And from a user experience perspective and a mass adoption perspective, we felt that wouldn't resonate with anybody. Nobody would really want to use the platform with those sort of lags in the gambling process, I guess. So what we've done is we've developed a unique use of what's called state channels, where we essentially take the player into their own private VIP room where they can spin as many times as they want, take as many blackjack hands as they want. And whenever they leave that session or ultimately say, I'm finished gambling, we bundle all those transactions into one so they don't need to be individually verified. And we push that to the blockchain for one confirmation. So again, from a user experience perspective, this accomplishes the speed that people are used to in traditional casinos, and that's the only way we'd be able to compete. But if you've played slot machines, and Randy loves slot machines, you can easily sit down for an hour or two and spin the slot machine 1,000 times. It doesn't take long to click that button really as fast as you can. If they had to be individually mined, you'd have to pay a fee on every one of those spins. So imagine spinning a slot machine 1,000 times and paying 1,000 confirmation fees. You'd have to win just not to lose your money based on how much you had to pay in fees. So our users get that seamless user experience, spin, 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 roll, 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 but they also pay one transaction fee at the end of the session, saving our users an immense amount of money by using our casino versus other blockchain-based casinos. So with our ability to do that, we feel that our white label solution is very appealing, and we've received an immense amount of interest already from everywhere in the world that you can think of. Major gambling cities, online casinos. It's overwhelming the amount of interest that we've had in our white label solutions, and it's due to this custom technology that we developed ourselves. It's proprietary, and I don't know any other blockchain-based casinos that are solving that problem, that user experience, those mass amount of transaction fees, et cetera, et cetera. So we seem to be the leader in the most viable or most sought after technology in the space. So our technology has already been developed, and I spoke about the ICO briefly, how we approached it in kind of a different way, where we wanted mass distribution throughout the community. But another thing that we did is we developed the alpha technology prior to the ICO. And this is important for a couple of reasons. Is we wanted to show our community and our investors that technology existed at the point that we asked them to invest into the company. I have a background in gaming, Wall Street, private equity, venture capital, a number of arenas, but when it comes to traditional Wall Street or venture capital, when you go to an IPO, there's an exchange of value. You ask for investment, but you have an established business model that's already generating revenue and profits. So I felt that we needed to do something to have a similar exchange of value with our investors by developing that technology ahead of time. So it accomplished that exchange, as well as it expedited the time frame that it takes us to go from ICO to mainnet. which once you go to mainnet, that means the casino's open and launched and the business is actually up and functioning. So we're generating revenue and profits in a shorter period of time because we bypassed the initial development of the technology. So we finished our ICO at the end of October, early November. We're already in the testnet phase. So the community's currently using the platform and the technology right now, and hopefully all of you have played the slot machines that we have at our booth. If you haven't, please play them, because you get to play it for free, first and foremost, and we guarantee that everybody's going to be a winner. So you get 5 free spins, and whatever you win, you get to keep in DBET tokens. We're going to send those DBET tokens to you. But we guarantee everyone to win a minimum of 200. So if you win more than 200, you keep whatever you won. But if you win less than 200, we guarantee we're still going to give you 200 free DBET tokens. So you get to test some real-life blockchain technology, as well as get some free money, which I don't think anybody argues with getting some free money. So please come by and try it if you haven't already. Our estimated launch of mainnet is coming up in the next 2 months-ish. So again, that means we're a real-life business, a real-life cryptocurrency, blockchain-based casino that is generating revenue and profits. And aside from currency-based cryptocurrencies, there's a very few that are operating today and generating revenue and profits. So we feel like we'll be a select few that actually have a business up and running and rewarding our investors, or adding value back to our investors by having a business, again, generating revenue and profits. You can see also here the budget of the raise. So we're dedicating 40% of the raise to development, 25% to operations, 25% to marketing, and 10% to legal. And I think we're having some technical difficulties. What's that? Cool. So if anyone has any questions so far, we can go ahead and address any questions on anything that I've covered up to this point. Oh, we're ready to go. Okay. So what's up and coming for DBET? So when you look at the casino, it's really an international business. There's players all over the world. And in Asia Pacific in particular, that's where 48% of gaming revenue is generated. So we've focused heavily on the Asia Pacific market because that's the biggest market in the world. And following that is Europe. So we spent probably a whole month in Tokyo meeting with investors, attending multiple conferences, and to be honest, they went nuts over the technology. Not just because they love to gamble, but we had the slot machines live there as well, and everybody got to play and kind of see the technology. So it was a really exciting, fun time. And now more recently, we're focused on expanding into Europe, where we've done multiple conferences in the Netherlands, the UK, as well as multiple meetups, and we have a whole schedule coming up of conferences that we'll attend to kind of spread the word of what DBET is and help with kind of user acquisition once the casino actually launches. So we're listed on multiple exchanges right now, where you can find us on EtherDelta, Yobit, IDEX, Cryptopia, and HitBTC, and we expect a few more exchanges to come online here in the near future. Sorry, it's a little hard for me to read. One of the things that'll help with mass adoption is the simplification of the process in order to use our casino. So for people that are familiar with crypto, it'll be very easy for them to use the platform because they already know how to use the exchanges, gather the tokens, and ultimately be able to play. But if we want to attract user adoption outside of cryptocurrency, we need to figure out a more simple process and not ask people that use traditional online casinos to go buy Bitcoin on the exchange, buy DBET tokens, send it to the platform. This is kind of a complicated process that we feel would create challenges from a user acquisition perspective. So we're exploring multiple options to accept fiat onto the platform, where we can not just market and approach people that are familiar with cryptocurrency, but anybody that uses online gambling can use the process that they've used in the past and have kind of a better way to gamble due to the profit sharing piece that we offer. Another unique thing about building the casino on the blockchain is the transparency that it creates. So when you're gambling online, it's challenging to know what your odds are, and if you even have a realistic chance of winning. All of our odds will be published to the blockchain and publicly verifiable. So we'll have a very competitive house edge, and all of our users will know that that house edge is absolutely true because they can verify it on the blockchain. So we believe this will create trust between the gambler and the casino, which there's no other scenario in the world where you can really trust the casino. You don't know what your odds are, so you're hoping that they're being fair. But this will bring the ability to verify that DBet in particular is fair. We're working on an acquisition and merger of 2 companies, and these companies were developed by a professional poker player who's actually in the room today, Peter Costa. So the man's a genius. He's had an immense amount of success playing poker, but he has such a creative mind that he's developed custom games that create unique spins on traditional casino games. And by merging and acquiring these companies, we're going to be able to offer these games, which are very, very, very fun to play, on our platform, and it'll be the only platform where people can actually play these games. So we're looking at all these different angles to create competitive advantages, profit sharing, transparency, yada, 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 but also offering games that are enjoyable that cannot be found anywhere else. We're onboarding additional developers. We've recently had some very good success from our Senior Director of Technology, Adrian Scott. Give it up one more time. And one of the masterminds of the technology. So we wouldn't be where we are with this unique approach of the state channels and the instant speed of the casino, as well as being able to lower transaction fees, if we didn't have an incredible development team. And Adrian is our Senior Director of Technology, so he oversees all of this. If you're not familiar with Adrian, please give him a quick Google, because his resume is overly impressive. The man's a genius, PhD in mathematics by the age of 20. I can go on and on and on and flatter him to death, I'm sure. But the man's a genius, and we're very thankful to have him in our corner, leading the charge with the development of the technology. So